Hello, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, hope y'all are having a good Tuesday. Making TAs are making y'all co-hosts, so y'all have the ability to move in and out of rooms for today. Um, okay, great. Let's see what else. Share settings here. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna start in about 2 to 3 minutes. Give a couple of the peeps some time to trickle in. And yeah, today we're gonna go over quick a little CSS lesson. We'll do a little code along. Y'all will then be broken off in the groups to actually um like expand on that little assignment there. And if we have time, we'll go into a little bit of JavaScript and we'll call that a Tuesday. Okay, beforehand, let me just get do not want to share this. Stop sharing. Share settings. Hmm. Odd, but we'll figure that out. Well, let's move not over there. Do not want this on the other screen, but actually, screw it, might have to do that. Things around here real quick. Down here. We can close that. Oh, this real quick. Fine, fine. Move that over here. Okay, I think we've given a little bit of grace time, so we'll get started. I'm gonna share my screen. We'll go over a quick lesson, do a little code along, and y'all will basically expand upon our little code along exercise, okay? So let's share our screen. Oh, so TAs, when people come in late, just like admit them in. So I wouldn't have to kind of jump into that while I'm teaching.
Yeah, I have the participant list open so I can admit anybody in the waiting room. Don't worry about that.
All right, thank you.
Same.
All right. Okay, cool. All right, currently sharing. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so all right, so on Saturday we kind of went through a little bit of Git, then kind of like an intro of HTML. I want to kind of expand a little bit again on HTML so we get the understanding of it, CSS, JavaScript, and then we're gonna kind of like see how like using HTML and CSS changes the page. And yeah, that's so let's get started. So again, let's explore these um core web creation, like core web concepts, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Overview. The foundation of the technologies of the web are these three elements for functionality. And we've kind of talked about this in class a little bit ago, but thinking of the HTML as the skeleton of the page, if you've done the happy like exercise with the exercise with Pharrell's happy page, you saw how like the structures that you kind of put in just uh set up the bones for your page there. So again, think of that as your skeleton. Next, of course, we are going to go into the cascading style sheet, which for short is CSS. Basically, this style sheet language is used to describe the presentation of your document written in HTML or XML. XML is like XML is still used. It's older kind of rendition, but like, just know like you'll more than likely be using HTML most of the time. XML is more of this kind of like JSON like format of the web. But it controls your layout, colors, fonts, so on and so forth. So CSS really just allows developers like you and me to create these engaging, aesthetically pleasing websites. It's remarkable some of the things you can do in CSS, but I will be honest. When I first started software engineer, I was like, kind of like, oh, CSS is very elusive to me because of the fact that like you do one thing wrong and it's just absolutely hideous. There's a CSS meme here, if I could find it, that kind of shows you how you do one thing wrong and you're like fighting with it for. Oh, actually, this works. You make one tiny change in CSS and something like this can happen. CSS be brutal sometimes. Um, that being said, uh, it's still pivotal to learn as a full stack engineer, but also just understand that there are these newer frameworks and stuff out here to kind of help you out with it, like Tailwind CSS, Shad CN, and other kind of alternatives as well. But if you want to really do some cool stuff, you got to understand how it works. And of course, we've kind of talked about JavaScript breathing that bit of interactivity into your page. The muscles, you kind of click on a button, the button does something. It makes an API call, it changes the page layout. It actually takes you to a new subdomain. A lot of this, or it does something really cool on the page. This is like that. JavaScript is that powerful language that allows you to be able to like make a website interactive. Uh, sorry, guys, give me 1 second. Okay, we're back. Apologies, I had my tea kettle on, and I did not want that ringing for the entirety of our class. How I burnt down my first place. No, I'm kidding. But the for like a diverse application, JavaScript allows that versatility to allow developers from diverse backgrounds to create this wide range of like web applications. And here's the deal: in modern web stacks now, a lot of your JavaScript written in these frameworks, kind of like Vue.js, Next.js, or what we'll be learning, React.js. These are all React is kind of like an industry standard, but just understand all of what we're writing in there is kind of built upon JavaScript, and it really just compiles to the JavaScript that we'll see we start interacting with it. So combine this all together gives you that really cool website, whether it be your portfolio site, the site Amazon.com, all the way to actually Netflix, which actually streams videos. All of this is just a way of using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in unique ways to create these interactive, engaging, beautiful websites. The synergy makes this feel like you're interacting with an actual experience more than just hypertext markup language mixed with some styling and a language that was built in 14 days. So enough talk. Let's actually see how we can kind of use HTML and CSS to expand upon like making a simple kind of little playing card. So if y'all saw our little example here from Slack, I shared a little simple assignment that I want us to play around with. The idea is think of making a trading card game via HTML and CSS. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna create a card based off of like a set parameters. We want the name of our animal. Basically, this is not going to be, you can make it whatever you want, but I'm going to make it a pet. So it will be basically the pet of my choice. Fun fact around it, a couple of elements based off of that, and a little bit more details on that. So we're gonna kind of go over a couple of concepts there, and we actually have comments to like go over this. What's cool too is like, yeah, feel free to look at Wikipedia or something like that to actually play around with it. We are not going to style this cool like a playing card. I'm going to leave that to y'all after we are done here. But long story short, I'm going to show y'all how this is done, and then I'm going to give y'all the ability to just kind of work together in groups to make your own rendition of a playing card based off of whatever pet animal, fantastic, fantasy creature you want. So let's start. What I'm going to do is I've actually already cloned the repo. So I'm going to show you what we are starting off with here. If you take a look here, you can kind of see that we have in this repo, our little base card mock-up, so we understand what we want this to look like. We also have our index.html, which kind of gives us the comments of where we want these things to be. And I have created blank classes for you to actually kind of set these up and style them the way that you want them to. So let's start. So first things first, I've kind of to actually see your page, you have a couple options. You can actually run a simple server. This is actually an extension from Visual Studio Code. What's cool about Visual Studio Code I wish that we kind of talked about this a little bit, but you have a lot of really great support on the end here for Visual Studio. Some of them including like things like a live server where you can actually run a server and see it in your browser while you're developing. So we're going to use this to actually preview the page and start from there. So I'm going to hit this button. We'll go live. And what we're going to see is this blank page. Why do we see a blank page? Because we ain't got nothing in here right now. Just a bunch of divs and nothing to expand upon it. So here's how I kind of want to break this down. I want to kind of break this down into sections that we want to build out for our page. So we can start by kind of taking a look at the mockup. I see that all of this is kind of within a border of basically within a little border. It's kind of like our playing card. We have a title for our card, an image, and within another like border in there, we actually have like the details that we want to share on our creature that we're explaining. So the way I'd like to kind of break this down is we kind of like think about this in like sections, divs that we want to work through. So I would say this is kind of like something like a title div. It's kind of the reason why I kind of have a section here called card title. I think we should also have, where are you? An image section. So kind of give that little identifier there, card image. And then underneath there is kind of all this extra content we have here. I think that's kind of our little card bottom content. So call it bottom contents. And within there's a couple of things I want to kind of identify, like like name, video, or something like that, and other features. I think that's a good stat list identifier. So kind of named it that. So these are the little classes that I think we will be using on here, and let's see how it rolls. So first things first, what I want to do is actually give this card a name. I'm going to basically create the same cat card that we saw on there. So what I'll do is actually use something that we've learned beforehand, and basically damn, I wish I digged up the slides a little faster. But within our last lecture, we kind of talked about the elements of our website, and one of the first things we've talked about were like like our H1s, our H elements, so H1s all the way to like H6 out here. So I think that is a good header for our page here. So let's start with that. I'm going to create a header by actually typing this out. So I would say this is a H1. And we are going to, we're gonna basically create this H1 here. This is this is like our H1, and I'm gonna put in the title of our pet here, which is cat. I think I called it like, domestic cat, because there are other cats out there. So let's give that a try. Call that domestic cat. Let's see how that looks. All right. I see the text on the page, so this is working. That's cool. But I noticed that, all right, that's probably a bit too big, so maybe we should do something smaller. So I think it would be a good idea to actually bring this to something like a H3. Not like the main part of the page, but it is like the main part of our card. So within our card container there, we will have this H3. It's a little smaller, but we'll kind of like fit that in our card. And remember, to actually use CSS, we actually have to identify what div we're actually working with, what div we want to actually like color or do whatever we want with. So for this H tag, I think this would be a good use case to actually use the card title. So what's cool in CSS is the way you kind of identify a class is you add a period, card, and the name of the class. So for me, it's going to be card title. That's the name of it. I'm sticking with it. So how do we identify that here? Within the first part of the HTML tag, so right after the line of H3, I'm going to type in our identifier of a class. This is going to be equal to card dash title. All right, misspelled it. Thank goodness for spell correct there. But now we take a look. Nothing has changed, but we now know, like, the HTML now knows that, like, hey, this has a class of card title. And what we can do now is actually play around with that. So let's say hypothetically, if we want to do something like color, aqua, let's see how this will actually affect our text here. Take a look. Bam. We've identified the what class this is, and then we've gave a set instruction on how to style this. Gave it blue skin, as you can like you could say. So actually, I think that is not a good color, so I'm gonna remove that. But what's cool is you can comment content, you can comment your elements out like this, which basically is a slash star, your actual instructions, and that with a star slash. We don't necessarily need that right now, but that's kind of how we would work with CSS there. So all right, we have our title. I think what's next is we actually wanted a image. So let's see how we create an image. So I believe we would have our card, we would have like our card title and our image kind of at the top, and then bottom contents, that's where we kind of put all of that details on our like our pet, our animal. So let's actually create a image HTML element. So the, the way we do that is by typing img space, and we have a couple of things that we have to put in here. So first is our source. That's basically where the image is coming from, and our alt text. And this is for our screen readers and stuff like that to actually understand what this image is. So if someone's hard of seeing or like and stuff like that, or needs a screen reader for accessibility purposes, we can now they can now kind of see what this image is. So cat is going to be my little alt text, and what I want to do is actually find this like actual find this image of this cat that I want to share. So I have it here. Let me go and grab it real quick. And because this cat image is not in our repo here, we're gonna have to use a absolute path over a relative path. So what that means is when I paste this in here, you'll see that we have the whole address HTTP, my GitHub going all the way to a repo that just I house a bunch of images in, and then the brat JPEG, which is the cat. Trust me, she is a brat. All right, so let's take a look at our page. As you can see, we have our title, an image that's way too dang big, but it's okay. We're building the skeleton. We will style this with CSS later. I would say first, let's get the skeleton and we can style it. So we have our image here. So I'd say that looks good. Let's move on to what we want to do next. So next, I would say we would want to kind of like identify what's in the bottom element. And that's kind of like a lot of that. If we take a look at our mockup, a little bit of like fun facts about a feline all the way to its scientific name. Maybe we add a funny video link, um, you know, lifespan, habitat. This copy I actually just grabbed from Wikipedia, so I'm just going to copy that as well. This is kind of like what we want in that bottom section there. So first things first, let's put in our facts. So one thing that I want to point out is we kind of used our H element here. I don't necessarily think these things here need to be H elements. We probably, because it's a lot of content, we want this to be something that's closer to a paragraph tag. If y'all remember, the way we kind of represent text is like, we got our headers with all of like it can be as big as we want. It could actually be even bigger if we like style it with CSS, but there's also another element called P tag, and that's where I think we should put a lot of this other stuff in here. So let's create something like a P tag. So P. And what I always like to do is make sure we like kind of close it. Again, what's cool is, as you can see, Visual Studio Code is kind of like fixing the stuff already, but just trying to kind of type it out so y'all can see how it really looks and all that jazz. So let's write our content here. So I believe it was like cats conserve energy by sleeping for average 14 hours. Lucky animals. I just want to sleep for 6 hours a day. Fun fact. And that's not how you spell conserve. So yeah. So little paragraph tag there. Let's see how that looks. We scroll down, we got our little paragraph tag there based off of that little fun fact. So we can do a couple other things too. I just want to run this real quick. So we've kind of talked about there are other HTML elements we can play around with. I think if you take a look at the details here, you can see that this text is slightly different from our other text down here. And that's because I was using the emphasize tag in the past. So I actually want to try that again. And the way we handle that is by actually wrapping that EM around the text that we want to emphasize. So let me show you how that looks. So if we first take a look at how it looks now, pretty average text here. But if I add this emphasize tag, which is just done by adding a EM. And remember, how do we end our HTML elements again? Is anyone listening? Anyone watching? Viewer? Viewer? Should I go and get some tea? All right.
You
Apparently
would
none of
add
y'all.
a slash.
Yes. You would actually thank you. I don't know who said that, but thank you for it for saying that in the void. We'd actually end it by a slash and adding that same like, tag there. So EM, bam. And we take a look at this page here, we'll see that that text is just a little different now. It's emphasize, kind of like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Okay, so next, what I want to do is actually add the stats that we were gonna put in here. And the way that we do that is I actually want us to play around with the concept of an unordered list. If you remember, we list elements on the web two ways. We can list them through ordered lists, unordered lists. We can list them a bunch of other ways, but for now, like straight up HTML structure, we have kind of like those ways of identifying kind of a list of things. And a ordered list, of course, is numbered, 1 to 3, 1 to whatever amount that you would put in. But because this is going to be kind of like a playing card, I don't think numbers is something that I've ever seen on a Pokemon card when you're identifying stats. So let's kind of use this kind of bullet list here. So how do we do that? If you see here, I have like the unordered list like structure already set up. So within this unordered list, we'll actually write out the contents that we actually want. So the way we create one list element is actually by running this command called like typing out li, which means like element in your list here. Of course, we are gonna put down, we're gonna close it the same way we've done it in the past. So we have one list element. Yes, we wanted that to be the scientific name. What is the scientific name of a cat? And that is feline cactus. 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 I actually walked through the botanical garden after work getting here, so that's why I'm thinking of cactus right now. All right, so scientific name. Bam. And it's cactus. And let's see how that looks. Okay, so we scroll down. We would see that. Did I save? Save. Well, let's refresh this. Refresh this. There it is. Now we see our little tag there. But if we kind of see, if we saw in the past, we have like we saw that like the mock-ups actually had this bolder look for the identifier, like the scientific name. So again, this is something we could do with CSS, but there are also elements in HTML that kind of make this reality as well. So I'm going to show you the HTML way. And then like, remember, we'll style this with CSS next. So here's how you can kind of like play around with that. And that would be the strong identifier, strong element there. So let's add that strong. Yeah, well, thanks for correcting that there. And if you take a look, it's kind of like its rendition of a bold, stronger text. Bold and stronger text are kind of different, but just rest assured it like gives it that strong like font, like text styling there. So what's next? I actually wanted us to add something like a video there. So let's actually make another list element. We'll actually do the same thing. We'll have a strong, um, like element there to actually identify it. And I think funny video was what I put there, colon, funny video. And then outside of there, I actually want us to do something a little unique. Instead of just putting text there, I actually want us to create a link to something. So the way we actually have links, create links is via a tag. It's just kind of is the interconnected way we kind of like link out to either different parts of our page locally or go to other places like a separate website. So we're actually going to go to a separate website. We're actually going to go to YouTube to actually watch a funny video after this. So let's actually like create this a tag. So I'm just gonna like do this really quickly. So I'll just use the prefixes to make this a little easier. But the syntax of this is like, A to identify it, a tag, and href is like the location that it's going to go to. And I'll give it some other elements after. So I found a collection of funny cat videos on YouTube, of course, because cats run the internet. So I copied that URL from YouTube. So here, this is, you know, literally it would be as simple as this, bam, go to YouTube. The video I want us to see. And what I normally do is just kind of, bam, copy it there, paste it in our href here. That's simple. So just type in what we want that to actually say. So what this is actually going to do is we'll have this href, this little sentence, funny video of cats. That's going to be the link that will take us to this HTML, this YouTube link via this a tag HTML structure. So let's see how this looks here. You see, looking very much like 1997, but if you click on this, bam, take you straight to that YouTube right there. Wish I could play that good, but alas, I learned I tried to make video games instead. Okay, so all right, we got that there. One thing I do want to show y'all is a lot of times if you see on the web, if you click on a link, it'll take you to a new tab. The way we do that is actually adding another attribute inside of our a tag called target, and then underscore blank. Yeah, now look at that. Take it to a whole new tab to annoy you with a cat video. Man, let's get that out of there. Okay, so you got average lifespan and habitat next. Let's do this real quick because we still got to style this. All right, so next let's get out of this list item here. So I'm sorry, I said list element. This is a list item, li. But yeah, list item. Like that syntax didn't work, so let's actually do it from scratch. There we go. All right, so average lifespan. Average life for a cat is actually 12 to 18 years. So I'm going to pimp this out a little bit. I want to make sure they're capitalized. I actually want that strong tag on the identifier of what this is here. So bam, put that there. Bam. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. All right, cool. So if we take a look here, we have our average lifespan. Cool. So what's next? Habitat. So list element, this item, sorry. We're gonna actually have that strong tag there. And the habitat is well, screw it. Let's just say anywhere. Cats be everywhere. All right, so let's take a look here. All right, we got our list. We have our little bullets there. Again, remember if we change this to something like an ordered list by just changing the UL to a O, ordered list, remember, it will be numbered. I don't like that, as we said. We're going to change it back. Cool. All right. So the next thing is basically that description of like your favorite animals description goes here. So this is, you get it from Wikipedia, get it from wherever you want, or write out a poem for your cat or something like that. But I think paragraph would be a ideal section for that. Going to copy all of this stuff from here, from Wikipedia, and just kind of save it in between our p tag there. Let's see how that looks. You take a look. Separate it out. Kind of has the whole detail of the cat there. All right. So, in theory, we technically got all the skeleton structure that we wanted on our page here. It's hideous, but we have our skeleton. So now let's style this with CSS. So I'm going to go over a couple of small concepts. We'll talk a little bit lightly about it, but I'm giving y'all a couple of resources to actually dig into this. But we're going to start by kind of like the initial kind of like container. I want that to kind of be styled, and then we kind of like work our way in. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, in our card container, because remember our card container kind of houses the whole card, as you can see here. Kind of collapse that. That's the whole enchilada there. I want this to be styled kind of with a border. I want it actually to be represented as a flex box. So we're actually gonna let me show you what that looks like and then explain what the heck that means. So we're gonna run this. We're gonna actually type in display flex, and let's save that real quick. And this is basically like putting a magic wand on this div to say, hey, turn this into a flex box, meaning its direct children will now follow flex rules, defaulting to like kind of like sitting side by side in a row together. So That's kind of like what I'm telling it to do right there. And then we're gonna say like here, flex wrap, wrap. And what this is really doing, this is kind of crucial for the card, but it tells the browser like, hey, if this element is inside, make sure that like it takes up more of like it takes up the width of what it has available within that flex box. And if there is more items there, drop it down kind of like within so it's not like overflowed or squished. So take a look here. As you can see, nothing really changed, but you'll see kind of like what will change from this in a second. So we got our little flex box identifiers. I actually also want us to have a border, so it feels kind of like a very, very rough element of a card, but let's actually do that by actually writing out the command border, 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 spell H, border, style, groove. Groovy. And what that does is you see here, there's a little border over our contents now. Now, as you can see, what the hell is going on? This image over here is like, yo, I play by no rules. I'm not stacked in your card over here. And that's primarily because, basically, unlike standard divs or p tags or whatever like that, like like an image tag is really just kind of like a placeholder. It and the browser goes out, fetches that image like a JPEG or PNG, very much like that, and then replaces that HTML tag with that file. So it's like, it's kind of like saying screw your Flexbox rules right now. Like, but don't worry, we'll actually fix that next. So what I want to do next is actually give this card a width. So again, there are multiple ways we can kind of give it a width. We could actually have a percentage, a hard-coded value. For time's sake, we're actually going to do the hard-coded value, but what I want y'all to understand is like, for mobile responsiveness and stuff like that, you'll actually more likely use like things like percentages, view width, view height, stuff like that. Will kind of like you'll be able to kind of play around with that when you're like working on it. So if you take a look here, as you can see, the card is now that like 315 width, but the image, as I mentioned before, is like, yo, I don't know what you're talking about. This is not I just got here and I don't abide by your rules. So we'll fix that next. So basically we have kind of like the structure of our card right now. Let's actually move to our next element here. So the next part is card title. So what I want to do is kind of like give this a little bit of margin, and I'll kind of explain what the heck I'm talking about there next. So let's give this a margin of, and as I mentioned before, we have these percentages kind of thing here. So what I am going to do is give this like a margin of like 1%. And here's something I kind of want to share with you. The way divs work on the web is we go by this concept of the box model. The idea is think of it. I'd say the best way of thinking of it is like, like they're like it's like an onion, it's layers, it's like the atmosphere. There's like the atmosphere layers. The center is going to be our contents. The next portion is going to be like our padding. Then we kind of slowly move up to margins. And when I say that, you're like, what the heck does that mean? Don't worry, you actually have a visual representation of it. If you ever want to see like what you're doing on a div here, I would recommend just right clicking like the div that you actually want to kind of see. Click on this, click on inspect element, and this would actually open up the Chrome Dev Tools, and you'll actually be able to see how the box model is actually playing around with this. So as you can see here, we got margin here. That's what 1% looks like. I think we should kind of bring it to like maybe 2%. That looks good. Give it a little bit more space. So what am I doing here? Did you see how I was able to kind of like affect the page by just like playing around with this? This is the Chrome Dev Tools. When you inspect an element and you actually are focused on that, you can actually tweak some of the CSS values that were already defined, or you can actually add new elements to that just to test out what it would look like. So if I were to be like, oh, I think 2% is great, let's walk away or let's refresh the browser. As you can see, bam, it's like what you're talking about. It's 1%. And the reason for that is like you're tweaking values just to see how they look. But when you're ready to actually commit to those changes, you go to your file, you actually physically change it here. Bam. So 2% now. You can still play around with this. But again, if I refresh it, it'll go back to 2%. Cool. So let's style some more stuff. So next is our card image here. As we mentioned, remember, we kind of want to kind of like make sure that the width works with our card width here. So what I'm going to do is actually give it two stylings here. So first is width. I'm going to give it a width of 300 because I want it a little less than our parent card container, but the image, like most playing cards, is the bread and butter of a card. So I want it to be big, but not too big. And then also I want to give this margin as well. So there's a little bit of space around this image here. So let's give that a margin of 2% again. Take a look at it. Nothing. And why is that? Well, G Willigers H, you forgot to identify it in your actual div here. So it's actually type in class image, card image, card dash image. Now, if we save this, now that it's identified, take a look. Bam. It's starting to look more like that card from the mock-up. Ain't half bad. It's still hideous, but it's working. And of course, remember, as we talked about, if you want to kind of tweak these values, what's cool is you can go to the editor. You can see how a margin affects stuff. You can actually see how it looks in the box model here. Visualizer there. But yeah, honestly, 2 looks good. So we're going to stick with 2. Let's go to our next element, to style. So that would be our bottom content. So what I want to do here is actually give that a border as well, because in playing cards, we got our image and we got like the border for like the contents of like your effects and stuff like that, or your stats, like if it's a baseball card or something like that. So in bottom contents, let's go to the CSS here. Let's add some of those stylings there. So actually, let's make sure you format your CSS. It's going to be spaghetti code if you don't. So that's why I'm making sure to indent that there. So let's give that border style, border style, border style. I'm gonna give it that groove again. See how that looks. You see, there is kind of like a border around our contents there. We don't fully see it, so I want to give it maybe a little bit of margin padding just to give it that space there. Let me show you how that would look. So we're going to give this margin of 2% again. See how that looks. Gives it a little bit of space. But let's also see how like padding will play around with it now. That padding, give it like maybe like 30%. All right. Looking good. Looking good. I think that's good for now. So, Something that I actually want to add, we may not even need it, but like I just want to kind of show you this, but a life-saving property, if users massively have like long words, long URLs, forced to kind of break like bleeding text out and stuff like that, we use this concept called word wrap, word break. This kind of like make sure you can break the word so it doesn't kind of like overflow into infinity. So we're just gonna like play around with that. I'm going to just kind of show you how that looks. So word wrap, and we're actually going to just do break word. I wish there was like a bit of an example there, but long story short, there's a lot of words, it would break it off and kind of go to the next line, which is kind of what we want for our card. Okay, cool. Um, Now let's go to our oh also I want to show you all something else like really quickly. There's this concept of like text align. I want to show you all how it works, how we can play around with it. So I'm actually gonna put in one put it in, and then we're gonna use the dev consoles to see how this would look here when we tweak it. So text align justify, space in the text. So both like the left and right edges are perfectly like straight. Kind of like the columns of a newspaper. We kind of want this to feel like a playing card, kind of feels like that newspaper element. As you can see, there is a little bit of space there, but I actually want to show you how this would look if we tweak it with some of the other values we could use here. So bam, if we were to, as you can see, we're in card container, you can actually go down to the element you want to identify. So it's bottom contents I want. And if we go to that text alignment there, if you click on it, click it off, you can actually see how this changes the way the page works. Nothing really happens on that word break, but let's see some of the other things we can do here. So you can actually do text align left. As you can see, everything's like aligned to the left of our page there, of our div actually. Text align right, it's all to it's all to the right. Well, that refreshed, so all to the right. Bam, doesn't look very good. Text align centered. When you want like like a div or something like that centered, or your text centered, use text align center sometimes. Like that's kind of like what I did a lot of times when I was like back in my junior days. But there are better ways of doing it now, actually using flexbox. But like if you want a simple way to just line your text line center, beautiful. But again, I like justify, keeps everything justified there. All right, so let's go to our stat list real quick. Bam. There's a couple things we want to do. If you see, we have bullets here. I don't really think bullets are something that playing cards really have. So what we can actually do in CSS is like remove those remove the stylings there. So we do that by actually typing out list style type. There we go. And I actually, as you can see, you can do a bunch of stuff, but actually I just want none. We take a look here, there's nothing there. But again, what's cool is if you really want to see what you can do here, you can change it to whatever you want. Decimals, which is kind of like, just do an ordered list at that point, right? Descending, or I don't think that does anything. Yeah. If it was an ordered list, that would actually do something. So squares, if you see, it's actually squares over bullets. Long story short, don't want any of that nonsense. Just want it kind of like there, blank, cool. But as you can see, I don't like it really centered like that. Doesn't feel like a playing card. So let's actually do that text align that we were just kind of playing around with and actually align it to the left. Text align left. Save that. And as you can see, It is aligned to the left, but as you can see, there's kind of like still this negative space here. If we actually inspect the element, we'll see that, hey, wait a second, there's still some padding there. That padding's from like the bullets that were there in the past. So this is where we can kind of use the rule, use padding to actually remove it. So you don't necessarily have to add padding, you can actually remove padding. So padding is now going to be, let's do 0%. Bam. Now, as you can see, there's no padding, and that actually kind of removes that element there. Still gives us that nice little list without the bullets. Feels kind of like that playing card that we want there. So, honestly, it's not, and also, yeah, actually what's funny is like you don't really need it to be a percentage. If we say padding 0, like the browser knows like, all right, you mean 0. If you actually like needed it to be like 1, then you needed to actually put the px, the pixel or percentage in there. So I would look, as you can see, gives it a little 1%. Right now, we don't need any of that, so bam. Save that. Okay. All right. We have our little brat playing card, So, make your cat playing card or have them duke it out like it's Yu-Gi-Oh. But long story, I'm teasing, but like long story short, that is a quick way to kind of like style a page quick, and like, there's a lot of other things I've kind of glanced past, like identifiers and things you can kind of do to style your page with CSS. What I want you all to do is actually, um, everybody's going to be broken off into groups. We're actually gonna like, you're gonna pick a card that you want, a animal, and make your card, based off of that. I challenge you to style it even crazier, go full Pokemon, go full Bratz trading cards. I'm pretty sure there was like, or Barbie trading card. I'm sure there was a Barbie's trading card, a game out here. Or go full baseball card, like style it the way your heart's content. I made it a blank canvas. But I want y'all to actually make it your own. So let me actually show you some of the things you should kind of take a look at to play around with this. So if we take a look at our module handbook, we can actually see some of the elements we can play around with CSS, particularly the box model and other elements there. Also, that did not use target blank, so that's why you didn't see that. But also what I actually want y'all to do is take a look at some CSS tricks you can play around with. So that can be either playing around with flex spots, but also I would say like look up some other cool CSS things you can kind of play around with. You can make the border look even more epic. You can actually I use like a picture frame for Museum Multiverse to frame a image as if it was a painting and stuff like that. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with CSS. Um, everybody, I've shared this repo inside of our Slack cohort. You know the deal. Fork it, build it, and feel free to break off in the groups, work together on this. But each of y'all will have to make a pull request yourself. So, y'all can make the same card working together, but y'all have to kind of like crack this out, typing and coding this out. But yeah, work together in groups of how many people do we have here? Let's see quickly. That's not good. All right, I'm gonna break it off into groups of like 4. And y'all will just kind of work on that there. TAs and I will actually come in about 20 minutes to see if like y'all are stuck or anything like that. But again, if you're stuck, come out. Like we'll be in the massive kind of outside of the break rooms. Just come and ask us for help. But also, I challenge y'all to just kind of play around with like either going to something like the W3C CSS school CSS here and seeing what stuff you can actually like put into your page just for funsies. Into your card there. Well, not that. That's terrible. Don't do that. Yeah. CSS tutorial here. And you can kind of see some of the things you can actually play around with right here. And examples on how to do it. You click on that. As you can see, have that little outline. Try it yourself. Okay. All right. That's how you'll do it. As you can see, I had like this border styling, but you can actually have like just a straight up border, which will identify like, hey, how many pixels do you want? Do you want it solid? Do you want it black? So what's cool about the W3C school as well is like you can actually tweak this. So I want it to be 5 pixels. Let's see that. Bam, it's thicker. That's looking like a card. So,
Professor, we can't see.
oh,
I can't
so
see.
my bad. Like who like who am I even talking to out here? Thanks. Uh so what I wanted to let's start that over again. So basically what I want y'all to do is um when y'all get the chance, like basically add to the design of like make the card out like in groups, add to the design. Look up stuff like the W3C school CSS, and in here you'll actually see all the interesting things you can kind of play around with. So, for example, let's say you want a cooler border, you can click on the subject matter of border here, and you can actually see like, oh, these are kind of the other border styles I can play around with here. You know, I was actually playing around with outline here and I was like, hey, this kind of looks like a playing card in some form. So what's cool about this is you could actually click on this button called try it out yourself. And from there, you can actually see how this was done via like their version of CSS. But what's cool about it is you could actually go here and tweak some of the values and then hit this run button, see how that looks. As you can see, that looks like a frame. That kind of looks, well, that looks more stylish than this guy over here. So pimp your card. So we're gonna like work on this till about 8:15, and then I want one person from every group to kind of present what they've done, how they made their card epic. So do you have any questions before we start? The excitement is palpable. But um let's so I'm gonna randomly assign you guys into breakout groups. Y'all all have the ability to share your screen. So I would recommend the driver navigator approach. Someone kind of like navigates, the others can drive, and basically from there, just kind of work together to make your card epic. And it doesn't have to be a card. Like the last class made sharks. Someone made a fantasy creature. Like make your card yours. Okay. Any questions before I break y'all into groups? Okay, cool. Right. Breakout rooms are coming. smaller groups, so you're forced to talk with each other. All right. No, no, actually, even worse. We're really gonna have to talk to each other. Okay, cool. Rooms are open. We'll all come back together at 8:15. Make your card cool.
Few moments later.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope y'all had a cool time designing your animal playing cards. But yeah, so what I want us to do now is to kind of just present what they did, what was the animal they wanted to showcase, and one person per group will share. So we have someone that wants to start. So Javier, if you want to start, what group were you in?
Were there numbers of the group?
Oh, yeah, they were, but it's I.
I don't know in which group I am. One of the
They were group one.
Okay, group one.
yeah.
Okay. So why don't you share your screen? Let's see if you can share. Okay. Okay, great.
I
Ha,
didn't do an animal. I did a video game character.
I like it. I like it.
And then do you hear it?
Oh,
Do you hear it?
no. Wait, does anyone hear it?
It has like a background music to it if you play.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I like this. I like.
When he shared the screen, he has to turn the on like a voice sharing too.
Okay. Yeah, so when you turn on screen sharing on your end, there's an option to turn on audio. If you see that on your screen share, and then we'd be able to hear the music.
Oh, I see it. 1 second, I have to give my password.
But I like it. I like what you did here. It gives me Magic the Gathering vibes too.
Wait.
Oh, yes, now we hear it.
Okay.
All right, I really like what you did. I love the extra push you did into this too, and yeah, great work.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Um, no pressure. Who wants to go next? Don't go all at once,
Hi,
guys.
Professor.
Yeah,
I am actually on the Zoom with my phone. Is it okay? It might be a little shaky. I can show you the screen
yeah,
if
sure.
that's okay.
Thank you for
Uh,
volunteering. I see you on your phone, but I don't see the actual
uh, I'm sorry. Can you see the screen?
Okay, it's a little blurry, but
Yeah, I'm sorry for
let's
that
see.
today.
Um,
This is
you
the card.
all right, so you might just need to focus your phone a little bit just so we could see it.
I believe you have the blur background. I think that's why it's showing like that.
Um, I did remove it. I'm gonna try again to remove the background.
Yeah, I see that is the background's kind of there. Yeah, it's still a bit blurry. So
Yeah. Let
in
me
your
show you in a bit if that's okay. Again.
Yeah, sure. But if you if you click on your video settings on your phone, there's a option that says like blur my background, just turn that off.
Yep.
Yeah, that should work. But thank you for offering to volunteer. Take a look and see if you can kind of, like change that. But in the meantime, who else from another group wants to? Oh, wait. Oh, hold
It's
on. Let me
right here.
put you on spotlight again. Oh, okay. All right. I like
So
it. I like
it's
it.
it's a polar bear. I was trying to do like a little more bluish to get
Mhm.
that Arctic vibe, but yeah, I think I will switch this white part to like a blue card,
Nice.
darker blue. Yeah, that's like the idea.
Cool. I like it. I like what you did with the title text there too. Just has that really nice bold effect there. So yeah, it looks really great. Great work.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Who is next? Don't go all at once, guys. All right. Yeah, Jen?
Yeah, I'll go. Um,
Thanks.
so this is mine. It's a shark.
I like how you added HP and all.
Yeah, I was trying to do like Pokemon type of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's it.
I did not know sharks can't swim backwards. Yeah,
They
that makes
cannot.
sense.
Yeah. And they don't like human blood, unlike what's portrayed in movies. They prefer fish blood.
I like that. That means what is it, a fun fact to put on there to add in. But yes, I like how you differentiated the text for like some of the cool facts, like cannot sharks can't swim backwards. I like the information there. I love the highlighted border you have there. Kind of gives it, and the soft edges you change with the border radius there. So great work. And yeah, really cool.
Thank you.
If you ever want to pimp it out, put an ocean background, in the back there, but this looks great.
Thanks.
Thanks for sharing, Jen. Okay. Blanca, you want to share your Pokemon card?
Yeah.
Go.
Um,
Ooh, I like it. I do like what you did with the border too. It feels like that Pokemon card element there.
yeah, like I just widen the border
Yeah, it's
of
really
it.
that is the most ridiculous photo of of a dog too. So caught it in its natural element out there. I love it. Yeah, this is wonderful. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Can I also share?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I just struggling with my time, so I just made it like this. The name is just my name.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's really great. And again, yeah, just
Thank
that
you.
cat looks sweet and also like a little shit. So I love it. Um, yeah, and again, great work on the border radius kind of gives it that softer playing card type feel too. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, 5 minutes left. Does anyone else want to share one last time before we call it? Going once, going twice.
I can share mine.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Just let me know if you need help sharing your screen. Ah, cool. Awesome. I'm seeing it load up now.
Is it showing?
Yeah, now I'm sure. Yeah, it is. Oh, that's a really cool photo too. I love how you centered the card too. Gave it a lot more space there. Nice.
How did how did
And
I share?
yeah, that image is lit too.
Stop
So
share.
I love it. Yeah, great work. Uh, uh, Tashi, it sounded like you wanted to chime in. Did you want to share for him?
Oh yeah, sure.
Good.
Mm. Yeah, it's here.
Okay, hold on. Let me highlight
Okay,
your
here.
spotlight,
Here.
yeah, for everyone. Okay. Nice. German Shepherd out here. I like it. I like it.
And I have put a link over here for the YouTube. It's gonna take it to the YouTube video
Nice.
about, yeah.
Oh, of course, ads.
Mm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's great. I love it. Thank you for sharing, Tasha. Your trading cards out here. All right, so we only have 5 minutes, so I want whoever wants to start the presentation, who wants to start. So feel free to take the reins. So you have the ability to share. All right, thank you. And let's see what y'all made out here.
Um, so we based ours on Chopper from One Piece. We didn't get that far, but show you what we got. At the title, you got a best picture of Chopper, and we were kind of getting into the styling part. I just wanted to say how it is to change the color. Um, right, we got the scientific name. I'm not sure how to say that properly, but ranges for Tyrannus. We got a funny video. For you guys who don't know who Chopper is, I guess you can see one of his quick interactions with one of the members. And then we have the average lifespan of 70 to 90, and then the habitat, the ground line with the quick paragraph of who he is. And there's what the code look like. Yeah, and that's what we got.
Cool. Uh, Thank you, Ricardo. I love the turning, going towards the anime vibe. What's funny is I think One Piece actually does have a card game, so feel
They
free to
do.
take the time to like make it like give it the feel of that. Yeah, exactly. So, when you guys feel free to finish it and like turn it into that, and I think it'll look really cool. So great work.
Cool. Thank you.
Nice. All right, who's next? Okay, thanks, Jackie.
Hello, this is my card. As you can see, we spent more time on the pictures and the font, so we didn't have that much text. But yeah, it was a bit of a challenge to recreate the impact meme font with the text shadow outside. But yeah, we finally got a font. Kept typing font, but we didn't realize it was font family. So we just struggled a lot with that one. But yeah, this is a very good photo. It says right here, taken in the wild. Real photo, by the way.
I love
But
it.
yeah, our code is pretty simple because it was mostly the font that we were figuring out.
Nice. Yeah, like I love it. Center it. Put a funny video in there. Like ship it, man.
Wait, it is censored, but this thing like when we use list, it just like shifts it.
Oh yeah, so here's the deal. Remember that taking with the list, you can kind of like use padding
Yeah.
0 for that, and that should kind of like remove that padding there. So keep that in mind for when you like continue working on it. So I like it. Great work.
So if we change it back to H5, then it'll.
No, but here's the deal. Remember, you have to have a list
Yeah,
item
yeah.
inside of like your list. So basically what you do is you'd have a list item, and then in that list item you can do like an H5 or something like that. So,
Oh, right, you can do
yeah,
that. Okay.
okay. Good work. Meme trading cards, make sure they have battle, attack, HP. I like it. All right, we have time for one more.
We'll go next.
Nice.
All right. This is our card right here.
Nice.
We spent most of the time on formatting and stuff like that, but yeah, we did tiger, put some of the green in the back. I just added the yellow borders last second. I didn't get to consult with my team, but yeah, this is what we got.
Nice. I like it. It's looking good. Yeah, and I think the yellow kind of matches the vibe of like the tiger and the green and yellow there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was going for.
yeah, great work. Great use of color theory out here. Nice. Yeah, it's
Great
about
work.
everybody. I really love the creativity and extra elements y'all added to the page and your cards. I hope that kind of gives you a little bit more understanding of, just kind of first creating your HTML skeleton and then styling it. I know with the album cover, it was more on the lines of just here, put the H1 there, put the H2 there, and stuff like that. So it was a little bit more of an easier assignment. So I'm glad that y'all kind of got a better understanding of identifying stuff there. Um, Everyone, create your pull requests into the lab so we can count y'all as finishing the assignment. So for today, but great work, everybody. One thing I do want to share is a couple of smaller, well, not that, well, I need to share the other screen, but it's cool. Y'all can see this screen, it's fine. All right, basically we have one small lab and a couple of things I want y'all to kind of play around with. And then we'll regroup on Wednesday and go over JavaScript. But first things first is this. I want y'all to go to I want y'all to, again, this was shared in the cohort, finish this. But I also want y'all to, what's wrong with my camera? Weird. All right, cool. Yeah. So finish your HTML CSS trading card, but also magazine design. Similar to what we did before, you'll be kind of just making Kendrick Lamar piece there. But the second page, I want y'all to kind of take creative freedom with, style it your own way, kind of like what we did before. Do it to your heart's content. Make it your magazine page. So I'm going to share this in our chat. And then also I want y'all to take a look at a couple of things. So first things first is Flexbox Froggy, which is a really cool game to kind of help you understand CSS's Flexbox. So this is a little game. It kind of gives you a couple of a couple of instructions, and then it kind of shows you where the frog will move based off of like your CSS instructions. And I think this will really help you understand Flexbox a little bit better. And the W3C school, W3C, CSS. I want y'all to play around with the CSS tutorials here. So bam, go to this tutorial. And then you'll just kind of like be able to like go through and play around with some of the stuff here. Give yourself a little bit more time in CSS land. I wish I had all of the time in the world to make you a ton of labs to kind of like do stuff like this, but life be lifing out here. So take a look at a really great resource here. So let's put this in the thing here. And I am going to give this to you guys here. So here is the magazine assignment. Here is the CSS tutorial from the W3C school. W3 school there. Bam. And Flexbox Froggy. It's about to be 8:30, so I'll kind of like wrap it up real quick, but great work on just kind of like the exercises there. Feel what I want y'all to do is take take the time, that your homework is to finish it off, submit it as a pull request. What else? All right, so the other things I want y'all to do as well are CSS is this humongous ocean of stuff. Oh yeah, Lewis, do you want to talk about the Flexbox Froggy and the other games?
Yeah, I don't mind. I'll drop it into the chat. So for people
Oh,
who
do you want to
don't,
share your screen too, though, so you can see it, so they can see it?
yeah. I'll share my screen real quick then. Good. Okay, so here's I dropped two links. One's for Flexbox and one's for Grid. So for me, and like Hess knows that I wasn't a big front end guy, so I struggled a lot with this. So I am a visual learner. I need to like see it done. So there's these like two games I did a lot to like practice it. This one does relationships to Grid because there's like two different ways you can do it. Either you do Flex or Grid, and now this like helps you like practice through it. I dropped the links in there. There's like 28 levels, a fun way to do it. Like, yeah, it looks kiddish, but like it makes you learn it, it makes you remember it. You keep like learning it like way well, like visually rather than doing it by reading a bunch of text. So if you guys want, those are the two links for it. Helps a lot when you're trying to build your own CSS stuff.
Yeah. Thanks, Luis. And I actually was gonna be like, yo, you do these like literally homework assignment is making a playing card and playing video games, yeah, you can't but like can't go wrong with that. Um yeah, basically the other thing I want to share is we have another lab I want you all to do as well. This would be I will share this via Slack, but also what I want y'all to do is I actually shared the W3C school stuff. So also I would recommend, like just take a look at maybe like 5 concepts from here, play around with them, see which one strikes your heart. But yeah, like I would say start from home and just kind of like play around with all of like this kind of CSS elements you can kind of play around with here. Like play around with like maybe like 5 of them, and just what I want y'all to do is kind of like be able to like be like, oh, I really like this because I like, for example, I would say like, I might call upon y'all on Thursday to like present one CSS thing that y'all learn. So for example, I'm like, oh, I really like Z index because you can actually move elements behind things to make a really epic image. So for example, if I do Z index of 2 here, you'll see that that text is in front of the heading. So let's say you want some cool stuff like, something, like moving things behind there. The index there. So, fun fact, was it like that whole was it see if my site is up again. All right, beautiful. Like this whole thing is using Z indexes to kind of like create this element of like you seeing the game behind the VR headset. So you see how like basically putting these little concepts together in Lego blocks and just thinking through like, oh, this could be cool this way, this could be cool that way, can actually can actually create really cool like engaging sites. So I challenge y'all to like, play around with some concepts that you would really have fun with. So I'm gonna share this. So I'm gonna share this. All right, so in your cohort, you'll see the home CSS there. The next thing I want y'all to do is magazine design. This is just another kind of way to get a little better with HTML and CSS. You'll be making this magazine, but the second page, I want y'all to like style it whichever way you want, so make it a cool styled magazine. So finish the assignment that we did in class today. Then this is like your other homework as well. Okay. So let's go there. Bop. All right. So also I saw in chat like someone just started the like the cohort, they were just admitted. I'm going to share the recordings that we've kind of like done throughout the lesson. So, you can catch up. And for those who want to see the repeat of the lessons as well, like feel free to do that. Louis, you want to share something?
Yeah, last thing really. If you guys get stuck or have questions, please feel free to message us on Slack or like message us any way you really can. Mostly Slack because that's how the school wants us to do it. So like, because we're here to help you guys if you need it. Like really message us, reach out to us.
Absolutely. We're here for you. Trust me, we don't get paid enough. So like literally we do this because we really appreciate actually like teaching the next generation. Okay. So, it ain't for the dough. So if not, I would have been a consultant somewhere else. But yeah. All right. That's it. I would say go home, but probably everybody but Luis is probably home. Are you still at the office over there?
Yeah, I'm at the office.
Sorry, bro. Go home, man. Okay, go eat something, man. But yeah, I will see y'all on Thursday. And yeah, make sure to get your assignments done by then. Submit them in pull requests, and yeah, have a great rest of your night.
Have a good night, everyone. Take care.
Yes.
Good night, good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye, Professor.
Okay, take it easy, guys.
Night. Thank you.
Professor, quick question.
All right, thank you.
For the assignment, we have until Thursday to do them.
Yeah, but I would recommend seeing how like y'all are partway through it already. Like you're either gonna do it tonight or you're gonna like wait until like 6 p.m. on Thursday. I do the same, so I challenge you to just knock it out tonight.
Wait, where do we submit it? Sorry.
Oh, it's doing the same pull request process.
Oh, okay. So the whole code, and we're gonna have to post it on
Yes,
there.
a pull request, into the main, and then we'll see that it's done that way. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Hes, can I speak to you for like 2 seconds when everyone
Yeah,
leaves?
sure.
All right, cool.
Oh well, you gotta turn off the recording before you're like, so anyway. All right, stop recording. Is gonna goes through all the concepts we're learning in class, so feel free to kind of play around with this and also understanding, like, take a look at these for additional resources as well. But yeah, that is our Monday class. I hope you learned something. I hope you had a fun time designing your card, and I hope you have a restful rest of your night.
Oh, so wait, when is I know the card assignment is like get that in today, but what about the other one?
Oh, get it done by Wednesday if you can.
Okay.
Okay. So, and if you can't finish the card by today, just finish it by Wednesday. Just if you can finish it today, I guarantee you'll have a better time because you understand what the heck you're doing right now. Cool. Okay, so I see that someone needed help with GitHub. If you can just pop your question in the cohort one chat, and we can answer what question, like what you're having trouble with, okay? But if no one has, oh yes, if you have a nested repo, remember one of the things that we talked about there is if you created a Git file and then you had like another Git file that you accidentally kind of nested it. Remember the actual parent folder that you want to get rid of the Git on, you just have to go and unfortunately just delete that .git file there. But I'll give you an article on that to kind of walk through there. But yeah, uh, uh, have a good night, everybody, and keep on coding. All right.
Have a good one.
All right. See you guys.
Have a good night. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Good night,
Professor.
guys.
Have a great night.
Of course. Have a good one, nice. Till next time. All right, I'm closing the chat, guys.